Breaking news. New details have emerged in the investigation into the death of Nolan Wells. According to reports from NBC News and ABC News, authorities have now released the GPS tracking data and portions of the audio recorded from the boat Nolan Wells and his friends used during their trip to Horn Island on July 4. Based on information provided by the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources, the boat departed its dock at approximately 9:56 a.m. and arrived at Horn Island at 11:14 a.m. According to the timeline, Nolan's friends have said they last saw him around 3 p.m. The GPS data shows the boat remained at the island until approximately 4:31 p.m. when it began its return trip. It arrived back at the original dock at 5:44 p.m. The tracking data also indicates that the boat later traveled to Fort Bayou at approximately 5:52 p.m. before returning to the dock around 6:06 p.m. Later that evening at 7:19 p.m., the boat was taken to the Fort Bayou boat launch. From there, it appears to have been transported over land, presumably on a trailer, to the Van Cleve, Mississippi residence of the boat's owner. In another significant development, NBC News has obtained and aired a portion of the emergency call made by the group while they were returning from the island. In the audio recording, one of the passengers can be heard telling emergency dispatchers that the boat was taking on water and beginning to sink, while also stating that everyone on board was accounted for at that time. The newly released GPS records and emergency audio are expected to play an important role as investigators continue reviewing the timeline and circumstances surrounding Nolan Wells' disappearance and death.
Thinking, can y'all please count?
And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's on.
Despite the release of the boat's GPS data, many important questions remain unanswered. The biggest mystery continues to be what happened to Nolan Wells during the period between 3 p.m. and 4:30 p.m. His friends have stated they last saw him at around 3 p.m., yet the boat did not leave Horn Island until approximately 4:31 p.m., leaving a significant gap in the timeline. Adding to the uncertainty, other witness accounts reportedly suggest that Nolan may have been seen as late as 4 p.m., creating further questions about the exact sequence of events before the group departed the island. In another major development, the FBI has officially joined the investigation. Authorities have confirmed that federal agents were involved from the early stages because Horn Island is federal property. According to a report by the Sun-Herald, the FBI is focusing on a detailed forensic examination of the digital evidence collected during the investigation. That digital analysis may include cell phone location data, smartphone activity, deleted messages and files, social media records, and other electronic evidence that could help investigators establish a more complete timeline of what happened on July 4. With the newly released GPS records, investigators now have a clearer picture of the boat's movements throughout the day. However, the evidence alone does not explain what happened to Nolan before the boat left the island. Authorities have not announced any conclusions, and the investigation remains active. As the case continues to unfold, Nolan Wells' funeral is scheduled for July 20 at Centerpoint Church in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, where family, friends, and members of the community are expected to gather to honor his memory. The investigation is ongoing, and officials have urged the public to avoid jumping to conclusions while investigators continue reviewing all available evidence. What do you think? Now that the boat's GPS timeline has been released, do you believe it provides new answers, or does it raise even more questions?